Welcome, everyone. We want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to be with us. Come on, let's get to the root of it.
In these times that we live, we take strides to move forward. We strive to be more, stay strong and be focused. Start a while, we make choices, live or die. Take over starts at the root, and the truth may be hard to swallow. Step one, self-love above anything else. Unlock peace and happiness.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to At the Root of It. I'm Shannon, and today we are celebrating mothers. Oh, you want to talk about mothers? Today is Mother's Day, and I just wanted to honor our mothers. Um, I want to just say before we get into it that I pray for everybody who have lost their mothers, and I send love and light to you all, and know that her spirit is with you. And but for the mothers that are here, I just really want to say thank you for all that you do. Um, Sometimes we are very underappreciated. Um, there's a lot of times where uh, the things that we do as mothers go unnoticed because it's something that we are, it seems like we're just supposed to do. Um, some mothers are better than others. Some can learn from people. It takes a village to be a parent, and it takes strength and backbone. But I'm also talking to the single mother because I was a single mother. Although my daughter's father was there, I was still a single mother. So I know what it feels like to um, have to worry about things or just work hard to provide for your kid or for your children. So today I just wanted to celebrate you all, and um, I wanted to just let you guys know that you are appreciated, and happy Mother's Day. Like, really, for real. If you didn't hear it from people, happy Mother's Day. You deserve to hear it. Now, before we get into it, I would really like to actually present my, well, how can I say it? My presentation to the women in my family. I'd just like to say thank you for being in my family, and thank you for being my family and loving me, but also happy Mother's Day from a personal touch from At the Root of It. So I'm going to play a little video that I put together of all the mothers of my immediate family. Take a look at this. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Nikki. She said, I love this. Thank you so very much. I just wanted to just give a great big shout out. I could have sent every last one of them an individual Happy Mother's Day, but I just thought that this would be a great tribute to all the mothers in my family. Happy Mother's Day. I love you, love you, love you. Long time. And you're doing a great job, all of you guys. So, um, did I close it? Can you hear me?
You're going blue screen.
Blue screen?
Yep, the waves.
I'm coming back.
Yep. Oh, you were back.
I'm back. Y'all can see me? Okay, I'm back, y'all. Can y'all see me? Sorry, I pulled it, but love y'all. Thank you for your patience. So, today is good. Thank you, Nikki, so very much. Today, for Mother's Day, I just wanted to give you guys some positive affirmations and just to encourage you guys to keep going and keep striving. One of the things that I do know is that being a parent, let alone a mother, does not come with a handbook. And we try to do things a lot of times different from how we were raised because of the things that we didn't like growing up. Happy Mother's Day, Teresa. These are these are these are all the god mommies. Love y'all, love y'all. But I wanted to really just continue to encourage you guys to continue to fight the good fight of faith. And the reason why I say that is because with everything going on with the pandemic and everything like that, and children, some children are able to go home, go to school, and some children are still homeschooled. And that transition into actually being full hands-on mothers as well as working full time. I want to applaud you guys as well. I have a 22-year-old, so I don't have that issue anymore. So praise God for that. Praise God for that. But I just wanted to give you guys some motivation of what I think a mother is, just me. Because as I raised my daughter, I know that I didn't do a lot of things correct. I know that that I dropped the ball on some things because it was just me for the majority. I had help and I did have a village. I'm not saying that I did it all by myself and I was superwoman. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that the everyday, day-to-day life I had to endure with my daughter by myself. And I didn't always make the right decisions, but I tried to do what I thought was right. And I want everybody to understand that you have to make those hard decisions as a mother if we're talking to the single parents. Happy Mother's Day. Hey, Tifa. Hey, Ro. So, I was thinking I could have pulled something off of Google to give you an acronym on mothers, but I wanted to make it a little bit personal um, because at the end of the day, I'm a mother. And it's certain things that I did, and maybe it can help other mothers outside. I have great mothers on here today, so you know what I mean. They can maybe give their input on, just give some advice to maybe new mothers or things like that, to keep going. Don't worry. Everything will work out because God will provide and He will give you the tools if you want them. Now, we got to be attentive parents as well. So, let's get to my little acronym for mother, okay? So, my acronym, and I'm trying to do a lot of things differently, and it's working. I put my first video out, and now I'm doing my banners. Okay, so the first the first acronym for M is mothers are the motivators for the family unit. It is our job to push the children. If you see anything even in the movies, you'll see the mother, come on, get up, you got to go to school, you got this to do, you got that to do, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, I need you to do XYZ, I need you to do this. This is what we do. This is what we do as parents. We have to motivate our family to move every day. Without us, not saying that the fathers, and I'm not taking away from fathers, but we are highlighting mothers. But without the mothers in the household, figuring things out, making sure the kids eat, making sure they have clean clothes, making sure their homework is done, making sure that they are at their said places at the right times. I mean, all of those things, and then working a full-time job and still taking care of other household items. Plus, if you're married, you have your husband. So it's like it's so many things, that it's so many hats that a mother wears, but one of them is definitely the motivator for the family unit. The second, which is O, is a mother is open-hearted and loving. We have to try not to allow our hang-ups to bleed over into our children so that we can be loving to them and open-hearted. What does open-hearted mean? It means to be open with and this is just me going off of my head, but I'll get the technical definition of open-hearted. But my definition of open-hearted is someone that is open to their kids, that love openly, that their kids, that they don't have to worry if their mother loves them. Like when I was growing up with my mom, for the longest, my mother was not the huggy type. She wasn't the type of mother that hugged on you and kissed on you and told you that she loved you every day. But she, like my sister said, and I think my first show, where she said, her type of love was put a coat on. It's chilly outside. You know what I mean? Something like that. But we show our love to our kids, be open and loving, right? T is tender with her care, like Johnson and Johnson is tender loving care. Well, when you put Johnson and Johnson baby shampoo on the baby's hair, it's gentle. It won't burn the eyes. It won't, So we're tender with our care with our kids. Um, and if we're not, we should be, because not everybody mothers the same way. Everybody has a different way of mothering, whether maybe you might have a tribe full of boys and tenderness just is not what it's called to be, but you guide them and you lead them, okay? But you lead them with your care, okay? H, honorable and will teach, guide, and protect. Now, again, I believe that that's what a mother should be. A mother should be honorable before her children because, like my pastor said today in church, what you do inside your home trickles down to your children. And so, if you show yourself to be honorable, you teach your children how to be honorable as well. So, that is, we have to be mindful that we have little people that we are actually raising to be big people that live on this earth independently. So, we really should really take more consideration in what we're teaching our kids and how we're teaching our kids, because one of my mottos was that I know my daughter is my daughter, but she's only a child up until a certain point, but she'll be an adult for the rest of her life. So you got to give her the tools, you got to give your kids the tools to be a functioning adult. They have to have those tools, those know-hows. Common sense only comes from inside the house, because it's what you show your kids. If you don't have any common sense and don't portray that in front of your kids, they won't know how to think on their feet. They won't know how to do those different things. So we have, you know, I just went off on a tangent, but honorable will teach, guide, and protect. I know that there are a lot of mothers that like who don't come for my kids. Like before, when I was growing up, there used to be people that used to mind everybody business on the block and tell on you if you were bad. Tell your parents, and things of that nature. Nowadays, people can't tell parents anything about their children. No, you're not going to talk to my children like that. Things of that nature. But so that village thing is not really there nowadays. But we do protect our kids. Okay. E. We are essential to the growth of our children. We are the example for our children. And whether we want to believe it or not, our children are shaped right after us. Whatever we like or dislike in our children, they had to see it from somewhere. So that's why, as with my daughter being an adult now, it's certain things that I apologize for. You know what I mean? Because it's learned behavior, but we are essential in their growth, in what they understand and what they need to understand, what they need to know. Because knowing and understanding is two totally different things. You may know something, but you may not understand what you know. Like I remember, I knew about punctuation and grammar when they taught me it in English, but I didn't understand it until I was an adult and was able to put it into a more understandable way
Contact.
or context, right? You know what I mean? But I learned it, I knew it, I just didn't understand it yet. That was a jewel. That was a jewel right there. And I'm gonna rewind this and look at it because that was really a jewel. But we are essential. We are very, very essential in um in the growth of our children. And we just need to be mindful. I the things that we really need to be mindful is that if we twerking and we doing all of this stuff in front of our children, and then we think it's cute that our children is twerking at 3, but it ain't so cute when they twerking at 13. So you gotta understand that we are essential in our children's growth. You can't be bigging your child up, doing all of these dances and doing all of this stuff that they should not do, and it's not age appropriate. You're forming them, you're allowing them to do things, and then when they get old, you want to beat them and say that they're bad. And wow, no, it's stuff that you've allowed them to do. So that's another jewel dropper. Okay. And R is radiant. Us mothers, we are radiant, emanating light and joy towards our children. I should have put our and said her, but you know what I mean. But we need to emanate that light to our children. We need to be that person that our children can come to for anything. Yes. And I'm gonna get to the comments. I just wanted to get through all of the the acronym of mother before I got to the comments. But we are the light. We are the ones that teach our children what is acceptable and what is not. Um, the Bible says that we will train up our children on how they should go, and when they grow old, they shall not depart from it. And I really believe that is true. As far as me being a mother, I think I got a little bit of a handbook with my daughter as far as who she was, not so much as who I was as a mother, but who God blessed me to birth out. And I had to guard her ear gates and guard her eye gates. Just certain things that she could not do, and she had to understand that. She's still trying to get that. But let's go on to the comments over here. So D says, we must guide our children looking toward their future, though they may be too young. Right. And like for an example, if you see that your children are good at a particular thing, encourage it. Encourage it. Help enhance it, because you never know who you're creating. You could be creating the next biggest artist, the next biggest gymnast, the best singer. That really cultivate the gifts, the obvious gifts that your kids are showing you, and grow it. And maybe they might love it, maybe they won't. But if it's a natural thing, yes, we have to guide them, right? And then Tifa says that we are always training them. And we are. Our job as mothers never, never, ever, ever, never stops. Um, and but it gets a little bit easier as your children gets older, because their level of understanding gets better. So it's easier for you to actually communicate with your kids, and really break it down. You don't really have to mince words too much, for them to really understand what you're trying to say to them in reference to life, and the path that they may or may not be on, and things of that nature. They always call you for advice. They'll always want to talk to you if you've done your job as far as um, mothering your children. Like I said, my mom wasn't really a hugger, but as she grew older, she began to express her love so much more. She says, I love you more. She gives you a hug. Well, not with COVID, she elbows you like,
Not
love you, you know.
not
Oh yeah, but she kisses and she does all of those things now. But she wasn't that mother when I grew up. So, or when me and my siblings was growing up. So when I had my daughter, I was determined to be that lovey-dovey mother. I was the kisser, the hugger, to make sure that she knew that she was loved, because I felt that that was something that I needed. So evidently she needed it too. And I think in that area, I'm happy. I'm happy. Tifa says, I'm saying that we are always training them when we do things in front of them. Yes, we are. And we think, oh, they're young. They won't really know or understand. But whoa, let me tell you some stories that I've shocked my mother with, that she thought that I didn't know. But for the majority of the things, we really didn't know. But there were certain things that I just remembered, and I would tell my mother, and she's like, "Wow, you remember that?" So we can't say, "Oh, she's little," or "Oh, he's little and he doesn't know. He won't remember." Oh, yes, he will. Yes, she will. She will remember. We like when I first started showing what God revealed to me about how we're shaped in iniquity in our homes. This is the same thing. We are constantly training them, and whatever we do in front of them, that is the training. So we can't be mad when our children, sometimes it's just rebellion. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I thought I did a good job. I did this, I did that, I did this, and then that could be an issue too, that you did too much and now there's so you got to find a happy medium, a healthy boundaries. Like last week's show, find healthy boundaries, make sure your kids ain't running over you. People said we are their example. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and that is very, very true. you know um we really just have to be mindful. We have to be mindful, and we have to know that we can do it. A lot of times we allow the stresses of this world and the stress of our day-to-day life to sometimes make our kids take a back seat to our life, and then we allow people, places, and things to raise them and give them their morals and help shape their character. We have to really be mindful of what our children is watching on TV, and all of that, because that is shaping them into things. So it's just like it's so much, and now more than ever, because all of our little babies, they have tablets, and they get to see certain things that we may not know even the content. So we got to just be mindful and pay attention. Pay attention to our children. I remember there was a song when my daughter was about 2. Me and my niece's mother, we had a singing group called All Natural, right? And we wrote this song, and it was called "Come On, Baby, Come On Over," right? And we practiced that song over and over and over. Come on, baby, come on over, over. I mean, we kept singing it over and over and over and over, right? And everything was cute. It was cute. I called my grandmother. My grandmother said, "That's nice, but try to write a gospel song." But I didn't pay attention to what she was saying, right? She was like, "Try to write a gospel song." Okay. And I didn't get what she was saying until my 2-year-old was walking around the house talking about, "Come on, baby, come on over." I was like, "Come on over where? What?" You know what? I think I hopped on right in that gospel song quicker than I really did. I hopped on it because I did not like my 2, 3-year-old singing those words. Like, so we got to just really be mindful. Really be mindful. So the next thing that I wanted to go. I have some affirmations for you guys. Okay. And this is just something for people to say to themselves. Sometimes the enemy tries to get in our head and try, if things are not working right, or if it's just a tough week, or even just a tough day. And, you know, it seems like everything is just going wrong, because we do have those days. And people that say that they don't have those days, you're lying. But anyway, but anyway, um, I want to give you some five affirmations, just to keep you going and to let you know that there's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. You keep going. You keep striving. All right. So the 5 affirmations for mothers. The first one is, I am a great mother. Even if you don't believe that you're a great mother, or even if there are areas in which you need to improve, by you speaking, "I am a great mother," will help you manifest you being a great mother, because the Bible says, "Speak those things that's not as though they were." Now, again, not pushing my beliefs onto you, but certain things you can't knock it. Speak those things that's not as though they were. Now, if you are a great mother, and sometimes you forget that you are, because you have a teenager that has brain damage, and you forget because you get all of that other ruckus with it. Tell yourself in the mirror, "I am a great mother." Okay. The second one is, I will raise strong and wise children. Speak that over your children. I will raise strong and wise children. We need strong and we need wise children, because the children really are our future. We really need to know that we are shaping the next generation. I'm 43, so I'm now the old person. You know what I mean? And my daughter and my grandson is now the them, and it doesn't feel like it, but it is. That's the reality of it. So we really need to speak that over our family, over our children. I will raise strong and wise children. The next one is my children will succeed. I know that there may be mothers out there that don't speak positive to their children. I'm not talking to those mothers. Those mothers need help. But I am talking to the mothers that really mother their children and really want their children to succeed. And even if you don't get it right all the time, again, speak these things over your children because, see, I want my daughter to be better than me. She has to be. She has to be. She has to be. I don't want her to go through the same things that I went through. She has to be. So my child will succeed. Or my children, my children's children will succeed. Speak that. Speak that. Speak that. Please speak that. Number 4, my children will walk in integrity and honor. My children will walk in integrity and honor. When you're speaking that, you're shaping your lineage. You're shaping the generations to come. You want them to be of good character, morals, and integrity, honor, noble. You want them to be that. You want to raise children like that because they are the next generation. We got to really, really understand that. And the last one is for us, and it is I will strive for my children. I thought this last one was very, very important because sometimes we want to give up the ghost in the middle. Sometimes it gets heavy, especially if you have more than 2 children. When you have more than 2 children, even if you have 2 children, I don't know what it feels like to have more than one. I was blessed with one, and I thank God. But, because God also knew what I could and could not handle, you know what I mean? But for the mothers who have more than 2 children, and sometimes the days may get rough and you don't know where the next meal is going to come from, and you feel like it's one thing after another. Lights, car went down, this, that, other, and it's always like a steady pounding. Don't give up. You will strive for your children. You will strive for your children. Thank you, King. Happy Mother's Day. I was saying Happy Mother's Day to you. But you will strive for your children. You have to understand that when your children sees you push, they will push. They are the mimickers. They are your little mini me's. We say that all the time. But I know that, like, take my daughter for instance. She's a little mini me, right? Good and bad. So we have to be mindful of the bad that we kind of expose our children to. Our children's, you heard that? But I just really want to encourage you guys that when the going gets tough, to hit your knees. As mothers, we need to cover our children. And I'm kind of just really repeating what my pastor said today, to be quite honest, because we have to cover our children. We have to be able to have a little bit more insight for them because they're walking around here blind. There's so many things that can distract our kids today, and we can't be distracted with them. We have to be the people that actually has the foresight to say, okay, no, don't go this way, you know, And if we don't have, for the mothers who don't have relationship with their older children, try to bridge those gaps. Um, family is very important. And, I don't think a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on family, but family is very important. If family wasn't important, we wouldn't have a first and second Chronicles in the Bible that showed lineage. It showed family. This person begot this person, begot this person, begot this person, begot this person. Family does matter. And you have to really, really believe that who you're raising up is what is going to lead your next generation. Like, is that even a thought on you guys' minds? That what we're doing now is what our generations will do later. Um, I know when I was younger and I was raising my daughter, I didn't even think about the future. I was so not here mentally, that I never really thought about the future. But thank God that you always have time to switch up and get it right. You have time. If you wasn't a good mother before and you wasn't putting the effort and the time and the energy into your children, there's always time for you to change that and to heal hurts. Say sorry to your children. There's always an opportunity if you put your pride to the side and you heal the hurt so that it won't be a generational thing. This is what I'm saying. Like, we got to understand that these things are generational and it only comes through us, the mother and the father. But like I said, we're working on the mothers right now. But we have to understand, like, okay, now I don't know, everybody may not read the Bible, but I do. And in Proverbs 31, right? We read it, and it's so many women that are like, I am the Proverbs 31 wife and the woman. But if you really read Proverbs 31, you're a strong woman and you do everything. There's not anything that you don't do. You get up before your family. You go and you handle your work and you do what you need to do for your family. Mothers, that's what we are supposed to do. Now, believe me, I dropped the ball. I hate cooking. I still do. But my daughter could cook. You know what I mean? My daughter could cook. And that's probably, I don't know, maybe not through me. I'll never take credit for stuff that I didn't do. But I'll be honest. There's just certain things. Like, mothers, take your daughters in the kitchen and teach them how to cook. Show them. Show them how to cook. Let that start traditions. Let's start traditions back up. We have so many different stories of our big moms and big mamas and Medias and grandmas and nanas and stuff. And now we are the grandmas and nanas and Medias, and we need to um, be able to teach our people as well. We may not have done a great job as mothers, but we get a second chance to do it as grandmothers. You know what I mean? We can step up the game. We don't have to try to be on the same level um, as our grandkids, because I see that too. I see that too. But I will say that we do need to really, really try to change how we've been doing things. We need to learn how to compromise from how we were raised, and finding our own way to raise our children without abolishing the whole thing, because there's things that even from my grandmother's time, or I'll say my father's time, that I think that we should still implement in our households because it teaches respect, it teaches responsibility, it teaches, you know, our kids the basic necessities in life. We don't do those things. I remember I would hear people say, "Oh, my children don't have to wash dishes. They just need to go to school." No, wrong, 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 wrong. Give them responsibilities. They have to know what responsibilities are because then if not, they'll shy away from work. You gotta give them to them, right? I mean, these are just little things that I'm just coming off my head with. Just hopefully it will help you guys. I mean, I know that my sister and I we had to clean every day. Our parents had to come home to a clean house every day. Do you make sure that you tell your children that they have to clean every day? These are not for the mothers that know what to do. These are for the mothers that may not know how to get their house in order. I mean, it's just so many things. But at the end of the day, because I can babble, so I'm going to bring it back. At the end of the day, I want you to remember the mother acronym. M, we are the motivator for the family unit. O, we are open hearted and loving. T, tender with our care. If we're not normally tender with our care, let's try to implement some type of tenderness so that we won't raise ticking time bombs because they weren't loved correctly. Okay? Tender with her care. H, honorable and will teach, guide, and protect. Teach your children, guide them in the way that they should go. Communicate with your children. Stop hiding stuff from them. Don't let the streets teach your children. We are here to teach our children. Do not let the streets or their friends um, teach your kids. Have those hard to have conversations. Okay. E, we are essential to the growth of our children. And R, radiant, emanating light and joy towards our children. With that being said, we're gonna, I can talk for another 15 minutes. Do y'all have anything to say while we're on here, guys? I see some. Let's see. D put, we have to protect them from themselves. Yes, we do. Um, a lot of times we're so wrapped up in our lives that as mothers, sometimes, because this is a realistic show and it's perceptions, right? Or perspectives. Um, we can't be so wrapped up in our lives that we don't protect our children. We have to protect them from themselves, and we need to protect them from um, the predators out there. We need to protect them, right? Um, they can be very detrimental because especially if you're a mother of teenagers are the hardest. That's I think where you'll pull out your hair the most. But if you set it up and if you line it up right, you may have some success. I'll tell you something that I did with my daughter, if this will help, is that when she turned 13, in my faith, the Christian faith, is there's an age of accountability that um we are the next ancestors. Yes, we are. Right? Oh God. I just felt anxious. Jeez. It just made me feel old. Oh my goodness. We are the next ancestors, guys.
Will we be ashamed
You know, oh my
of
goodness.
what we left?
I just felt so old just now. I'm sorry. Like the ancestors. Jeez. Okay. All right. Let's go back. We have to. What was I saying before? Because I pressed that and that just made me feel old. Anyway, but we are the next ancestors. So that's why we have to make sure that we're leaving a good memory
Like,
and legacy, right? Thank you, T. And legacy for our children and for our children's children. I know that my grandmother, she left a great legacy, a great memory of herself for her children and her grandchildren. Um, and that's the things that we have to do for our children and our grandchildren. So if there's things that we need to apologize for, apologize. You know, get right with your kids. Oh, I know what I was saying. Whoop, 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 whoop. All right. So I know that when my daughter was, she turned 13, and it was at the age of accountability where she wasn't under that grace of being a child and not knowing. Okay. So that's when I started her training. That's when I started cultivating common sense. Um, I opened the door for communication at that time. I told her something that I wouldn't normally tell her, right? Because we have to be an example to our children. So my example was to tell her something that I wasn't too proud of, that I didn't really want her to know. And I told her that so that when she encounters that same thing of um maybe having to tell me something that I may not like, that she will be open to come and talk to me because I told her something that she may not like, right? So I gave her that example to open up the line of communication because I knew that uh-oh, then junior high school, oh my goodness, the stupids really hit, you know what I mean? So it's like I needed to counteract anything that may occur. So I had to get in her ear before any of her peers got into her ear. So I did it at 13, and I began to tell her about things as the more time that she left and was away from me, the more I told her about what's out there in the streets. Because although we don't want to admit or even accept that some things happen when our kids go out there, we cannot not equip them because we don't want to talk about those not easy topics. We have to address those topics or their peers will address it. We have to guide that ship. So if we tell them what's out there, when their little friends tell them what's out there, they say, nah, my mother told me XYZ. She already put me on. So what you're saying is not true because my mother said X, Y, Z. Now don't be going out there and giving your kids all these wrong, all these wrong things to do and say, but school them, let them know what's out there, the traps and the snares, things that can happen. Like I remember I grew up in the say no to drugs and you know, not stranger danger, but it was who was that dog? The yeah, McGruff the dog, the police dog. You know what I mean? So I grew up with in that era. So we teach our kids. Okay, I just lost my train of thought too. Ain't that funny? But anyway, so I did do that. I taught her so that her peers could not teach her. And when she did get in trouble, when she was like 17 and she got in trouble and she needed to call somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning, guess who she called? She called me. You want to know why? Because she was comfortable with talking to me about those not so comfortable things. She was able to call called me and knew that I was going to answer, knew that I was not going to give her any grief, but I was going to tell her what did you learn? What did you learn? What happened before then that was an inkling that may have told you not to go or not to do? We are here to teach our children. We're not here to control them. We're here to teach them so that they are functioning adults that have a mind of their own, that knows how to communicate effectively, and know how to deal with people. We have those are the main things, and know how to wash clothes. That's normal. Wash clothes, cook, clean, all of those things. But we also have to school them on what's out there in that world. If we miss that and focus on one particular thing, we have to be broad in what we teach our kids. We cannot say, oh no, we will not talk about that in here. Oh no, then you're giving the world carte blanche to teach your children anything and everything that they want to teach them. And then you're going to want some prayer because your kid is out there doing stuff that you didn't want them to do, but you was too scared to discuss it. Speak to your kids. Let them know what's going on out there. Drugs, sex, murder, things of that nature. People getting set up. Talk to your children. These are for the parents that have teenagers or even tweens. School them. Talk to them. Do not allow those electronic devices to school your children, because they'll be hell on wheels as teenagers and junkies in their 20s. We got to be mindful. Have those not so easy conversations. We don't ever want to talk about sex with our children, but then get mad when they walk in the house pregnant. How, Sway? How, Sway? We can't do that because we didn't equip them in that area. If the enemy can shut our mouth to talking and molding our children, then he got them. Because the world is our oyster. And what's out there is teaching our children crap today. I really feel old when I just said that. Literally, crap. So we have to get on our good foot and school our children before the world does. Because the world don't take no prisoners. And we want to give it to them because we don't want to talk. If you don't know how to speak about certain things, get with someone who can and speak to your children. Explain what it is and what they need to stay away from. Teach your children when they're young to share, be kind. Because if you allow them to be at home talking about this is mine, no, mine, and you allow them to do that, guess what? You're going to raise a selfish child. And when they can't give to you, when they don't give to other people, and when it's your turn and you want them to give it to you, you raise a selfish child. They're not going to give it to you because you never pushed that on them. You never taught them to be givers. This is mine. Selfishness. You teach your kids that. Set boundaries. It's always good to set healthy boundaries, but learn how to give, share. Teach your kids that. And so many other things that I could talk about. But these are the things that we as parents really need to take into account, that it's really our duty and our job. And I think that God really, in this pandemic, he took our excuse away. He took our excuse away because now our kids had to be home. And I know that one thing my grandmother used to say to me all the time was that ministry first starts at home and then spreads abroad. And I know that's biblical. I just can't tell you where it is. But I know it's biblical. So for all of my Christian people, that wants to be in the ministry, you are a minister, especially if you have children. You have 2 and 3. He'll be in the midst. You understand what I mean? Like, we really have to tighten up, and we really have to get on a good foot, because we can't allow these streets and this music and TV and everything to raise our children. We have to equip them. We have to equip them. They can't walk out here blind. Help them be in a know so they won't get bamboozled and hoodwinked by the world. Because, like I said, the Bible said, raise a child up the way that they should go, and when they grow old, they shall not depart from it. They won't. They will hear your voice when they're older. My daughter hears me. Oh, I heard, Ma, I was such and such place, and I heard you say, be a nag if you gotta be, but make sure you're being heard. Make sure you're not doing a do as I say, not as I do thing, because they don't receive it. We got a different breed of kids. They want to know why. So tell them why. Tell them why, but don't be vulgar or brash. Is that the word? Brash? Don't be vulgar, but explain it to them in an age appropriate way. And if you gotta, however you have to do it, I can't tell y'all how to do it, but just do it nevertheless. So I love y'all. I thank y'all so much for tuning into At the Root of It Mother's Day Tribute Edition. Again, shout out to all of the mothers on my timeline and who's going to view this later. Have a happy Mother's Day. And I'm going to play my little video that I put together myself. Those are my applause. Clap. I did it, and I'm going to get better and better. See? Oh, wait. Should I go over the affirmations again? Yeah, I'm going to go over the affirmations again. Just so y'all remember. Uh-oh. Okay, so the 5 affirmations. Oh, it's touch screen. Sorry, y'all. I am a great mother. I will raise strong and wise children. That's how I wrote it, y'all. 3, my children will succeed. My children will walk in integrity and honor. And the last one, I will strive for my children. I thank y'all again for tuning in to At the Root of It. Look at my little Mother's Day video, and y'all have a blessed night. Love and light to you. See you next week. Please click, tag, and share. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please. Subscribe, click, tag, share. To all the mothers out there, love and light. Have a good night, y'all.
Stepping over to